We've all been there. You're deep in meditation, searching for answers, yearning for clarity. You sit in stillness, hoping that the universe will send you a sign, a signal, to guide your next move or reveal some hidden truth. And sometimes it does. But what if I told you that not every sign is what it seems? That sometimes the messages we ask for or receive in meditation can lead us down paths we never intended to walk? That there's a dark side to asking for signs, and it's one that most people don't talk about. Let me explain. When you meditate, you are opening yourself up. You are creating space for something greater than yourself to enter, whether you call it the universe, the divine, your higher self, or something else. But with that openness comes vulnerability. And in that vulnerable state, you might not always be able to discern which signs are truly meant for you and which are the result of your own subconscious fears, desires, or even external energies that don't have your best interest at heart. You see, meditation isn't just about connecting with the light. It's also about navigating the shadows. Now, here's the question you may be asking yourself: how can asking for a sign be wrong? Isn't that the whole point of meditation, to get guidance, to receive insight? Yes and no. Meditation is indeed about connecting with higher wisdom. But when you ask for specific signs, you risk projecting your own desires and fears onto the universe. Instead of receiving pure, unfiltered guidance, you start interpreting everything through a lens of expectation. You might ask for a sign that confirms what you already want to believe, ignoring the truth that's right in front of you. And here's the thing: the universe, in all its complexity, will sometimes give you exactly what you ask for, even if it's not what you need. Have you ever asked for a sign and then found yourself obsessively searching for it in everything? A bird flies by, a song comes on the radio, a stranger says something that feels oddly relevant, and suddenly you're convinced it's the sign you've been waiting for. But is it? Or are you just seeing what you want to see? This is the danger of asking for specific signs. You start filtering your reality through the lens of your own desires, and suddenly everything becomes a sign, even when it's not. So I want you to think about this. Are the signs you're receiving truly coming from a place of higher wisdom, or are they being shaped by your own expectations? Or are you open to receiving whatever message the universe has for you? Or are you only listening for the answers you want to hear? Here's where it gets even more interesting and, frankly, a little unsettling. Meditation, when done with the wrong intention or focus, can lead to encounters with your own shadow. And I don't mean this in a mystical or supernatural way. I'm talking about the parts of yourself that you've hidden away, the fears, the unresolved emotions, the aspects of your psyche that you don't want to face. When you ask for signs from the universe, it's not always the universe that answers. Sometimes it's your own shadow speaking back to you. I think about it. When you meditate and ask for a sign, you're tapping into your subconscious mind. And if there are unresolved issues lurking there, fears, traumas, desires, they can hijack the process, distorting the messages you receive. You might think you're receiving divine guidance, but what you're really doing is projecting your own unresolved emotions onto the signs. This is the dark side of meditation, the part that most people don't talk about because it's uncomfortable, it's messy, and it's not the feel-good experience that we often associate with meditation. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're meditating on a decision, say, whether to stay in a relationship or leave. You ask for a sign, hoping the universe will give you clarity. But instead of receiving a clear message, you start seeing signs everywhere that seem to confirm your deepest fears. You see a couple arguing on the street, and you take it as a sign that your relationship is doomed. You overhear a conversation about breakups, and you think it's the universe telling you to leave. But is it really? Or are these just reflections of your own fears, your own doubts, manifesting in the world around you? This is the danger of asking for signs without doing the inner work first. If you haven't faced your own shadow, if you haven't dealt with your unresolved emotions, Those emotions will cloud the messages you receive. You'll start seeing what you fear instead of what's true. And the worst part is, you'll convince yourself that it's the universe speaking to you, when in reality, it's just your own mind playing tricks on you. So, let me ask you this: are you truly ready to receive the signs you're asking for? Or are you still carrying unresolved emotions that might distort the messages? Are you willing to face the possibility that the signs you've been receiving aren't coming from the universe, but from your own shadow? Now, let's go even deeper. Meditation doesn't just open you up to your own subconscious mind. It also opens you up to external energies that you might not be aware of, energies that aren't always benevolent. This is something that doesn't get talked about enough in mainstream discussions of meditation. We often focus on the light, the peace, the tranquility of meditation, but we forget that when we open ourselves up, we're also making ourselves vulnerable to energies beyond our control. When you ask for signs in meditation, especially if you're not clear about your intention, you can inadvertently in energies that don't have your best interests at heart. So there'd be subtle energetic influences, or in some cases they could be more overtly negative forces. So this is why it's so important to approach meditation with a clear mind and a grounded heart. And if you're meditating from a place of fear, desperation, or confusion, you're more likely to attract energies that feed off those emotions. I know this sounds a little out there, but think about it when you're in a vulnerable state, whether emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, you're more susceptible to outside influences. This is true in everyday life, and it's especially true in meditation. If you're asking for signs from a place of fear or uncertainty, you might attract energies that amplify those feelings. You might start seeing signs that only confirm your worst fears, leading you further down a path of confusion and doubt. So, how do you protect yourself from this? How do you ensure that the signs you're receiving are truly from the universe and not from external energies that don't serve you? The answer is simple, but not easy. You have to be grounded. You have to do the inner work first. You have to clear your mind, face your fears, and come to meditation with a sense of inner peace. Only then can you trust that the signs you're receiving are coming from a place of truth, rather than from external influences. And here's the question I want you to reflect on. Are you grounded in your meditation practice, or are you allowing external energies to influence the messages you're receiving? Are you truly open to receiving the universe's guidance, or are you unknowingly inviting in energies that distort the truth? Now that we've explored the darker aspects of meditation, the ways in which your own subconscious mind, unresolved emotions, and even external energies can interfere with the messages you receive, let's talk about how to navigate this spiritual path with clarity. Despite all the potential pitfalls, meditation remains one of the most powerful tools we have for connecting with the divine, for accessing inner wisdom, and for cultivating peace. But to truly harness the power of meditation and avoid the traps we've discussed, we need to approach it with intention, mindfulness, and a deep commitment to clarity. This part of the journey isn't about receiving supernatural guidance on demand. It's about finding stillness, trusting the unfolding of life, and becoming receptive to the truths that may not always be what we expect or want, but are exactly what we need. To begin, let's talk about the foundation of clarity in meditation: stillness. Before you even think about asking for a sign, before you open yourself to receiving any guidance from the universe, you need to achieve a state of inner stillness. This is more than just physical stillness. It's about mental and emotional stillness. It's about quieting the endless chatter of your mind, letting go of the constant stream of thoughts, worries, and desires that usually dominate your consciousness. Without this stillness, any sign or insight you receive will be clouded by your own mental noise. You may interpret a perfectly neutral event as a profound sign, or worse, you may project your own fears and desires onto it, distorting its meaning entirely. But how do you achieve this stillness? Letting go of expectations is the first step. So many people enter meditation with a specific goal in mind. They want answers, they want clarity, they want a sign about a particular decision or situation. But the paradox of meditation is that the more you expect something, the less likely you are to receive it. When you sit down to meditate, you need to release any attachment to the outcome. You have to be willing to sit in the silence, to let go of the desire for control. This can be incredibly difficult, especially when you're facing uncertainty or hardship. But true clarity only comes when you're able to let go and be fully present in the moment. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly sat in stillness, without any agenda, without any expectations? When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be, without needing anything from the universe, from meditation, or from life itself? Well, if you can't remember, then it's time to practice this. True stillness is not just the absence of movement or thought, it's the presence of acceptance. But it's the space where you are completely open to whatever may or may not come, without needing it to be any particular way. This leads us to the next critical aspect of the path to clarity, trusting the process. One of the biggest misconceptions about meditation is that it should always provide immediate answers or clear guidance. Many people expect meditation to work like a magic formula. You sit down, ask for a sign, and voila, the universe delivers. But meditation doesn't work on your timetable. The universe doesn't operate on demand, and sometimes the most profound wisdom comes in moments of silence when no sign appears at all. Would you have to trust that whatever happens during your meditation practice is exactly what is meant to happen? Sometimes you'll receive clear insights, and sometimes you'll be met with silence. And that silence is just as valuable. It's an invitation for you to go deeper, to sit with the unknown, to develop patience and faith. It's the universe's way of saying, not yet. Keep going. Trust that the answers will come when the time is right. This can be frustrating, especially when you're seeking immediate clarity. But spiritual growth doesn't happen on a schedule. It happens in cycles, in rhythms that are often beyond our understanding. Now, here's a question to reflect on. Are you willing to sit with the silence? Are you willing to trust the process, even when the answers don't come immediately? Can you embrace the uncertainty, knowing that the universe will reveal what you need to know when the time is right? This is the essence of trusting the process in meditation. It's about surrendering your need for control and allowing life to unfold in its own time, in its own way. Finally, perhaps the most challenging and rewarding aspect of the path to clarity is this: you have to be willing to face whatever comes up. Meditation is not always a peaceful or blissful experience. Sometimes it will bring up difficult emotions, uncomfortable truths, or unresolved issues that you've been avoiding. When you ask for guidance or a sign, you have to be prepared for the possibility that what you receive may not be what you were hoping for. The universe might not tell you what you want to hear, it will tell you what you need to hear. This is where true growth happens. The signs you receive in meditation are not always gentle nudges in the right direction. Sometimes they are wake-up calls, invitations to confront your deepest fears, your limiting beliefs, or the parts of yourself that you've been unwilling to face. If you're asking for a sign about whether to leave a toxic relationship, for example, the universe might show you a painful truth about yourself that you've been staying out of fear, out of a need for validation, or because you don't believe you deserve better. That's not an easy message to receive, but it's exactly the kind of clarity that leads to transformation. So, the question is, are you ready to face whatever comes up? Are you willing to confront the uncomfortable truths, the parts of yourself that you've been hiding from? Because this is what true clarity requires. It's not about getting easy answers or comforting signs. It's about being open to whatever the universe has to show you, even if it's difficult, even if it challenges you to change. In the end, the path to clarity in meditation is not about receiving signs on demand. It's about inner work, stillness, trust, and courage. It's about letting go of your expectations, trusting that the universe will guide you in its own time, and being willing to face whatever messages or insights come your way. When you approach meditation with this mindset, you'll find that the signs you receive are no longer distorted projections of your own fears or desires. They are true messages from the universe guiding you towards your highest good. So, I'll leave you with this final question. Are you ready to embark on the path to true clarity? Are you ready to release control, face your fears, and trust the process of life unfolding? Because when you do, you open yourself up to a deeper level of wisdom, one that goes far beyond superficial signs. You tap into the true power of meditation, the power to transform not just your mind, but your entire life.